Hey, yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop. I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peace. You gon' see the flex when you hear these writtens. Trust me, you know the difference. I got a long ways to climb before you see a slippage. I see the process and the journey I'm supposed to be, but perplexed, cause I don't really see nobody close to me. Hopefully this ain't wasted and I know it ain't. You gotta take the time for seasoning to marinate. You need the patience and the pressure just to detonate. I'm trying to blow up and these heathens need to get it straight. Gifted with a vision and precision, I'm just trying to make it high key. Might be breaking free like I was Zion in some Nikes. Tucked at the crib, bro, you know just where to find me. Making beats and spitting crack verses pretty likely. Yeah, socks with the burst, boy, I ain't changed a bit. Normal guy till I die, you know what it is. You probably thought I'd give up now that I got some kids, but really now I got these arrows aiming at your ribs. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop. I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas. Hey, please be on the notice, these my motives. About my chicken and its rotis. You parsimonious, you take it all cause you a locust. My focus is to grow this mission. A visionary, get a dictionary. We here off the rip and we ain't sharing, we just caring. Let me speak it to the manager. We damage her, no you ain't messing with an amateur. I'm ramming, the competition, they ain't standing up. They fanning from left to right cause now they branded us. Now who that is? Mike Jones, they ain't want me now, they all on me. Got counterfeits trying to play me, I guess they thinking I'm Sony. These big head dummies showing up and out of their character. Homie, you need a price cause without it the squad ain't hearing you. Top of that, we ain't fearing you. We swinging for the fences with the sting of a left hook that connects with Sonny Liston. I'm dismissing any and all of the disrespect. Nonetheless, it ain't a threat, I'm just letting y'all know who's next. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop. I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas, you gon' see the...
Yeah, I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat. Yo, grew my hair and took the grill out. Think it's time to put it back in. Trying to get into that big house, turn the crib into the mansion. Needed something with that big bounce. You know I had to hit Jackson. Aaron Rodgers with the quick routes. How much the gang we packing? We on the field at Lambo. Might peel in a Lambo. Running drills in my camo. They know what the M stand for. Still got fam in Hawaii, yeah. Couple fans in the lobby, yeah. Couple grand in my pocket, yeah. Couple grams of wasabi, yeah. Eye it up, no glasses. Light it up, no matches. Wife it up, no ratchets. Might turn my wife to an actress. And we gon' make a movie, no Kim K. Give a fuck about what your friends say. I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
I'm just sticking to the code, I keep it so G. She asked me what I smoke, I'm smoking OG. I don't fool with too many, only catch me 4 deep. Gotta stay away from snakes, swear these people so creep. I've been grinding for a minute, many labels so sleep. These rappers drop a song, script be hot for about a week. I put Gucci on my toes, I keep some cold feet. I ain't paying for no home, you niggas know me. I'm about to body the beat. I keep me a hottie with me. She wanna for a fee. Give me that for free. Keep me some money on me. Smoking the gas key. You with me, sheesh. Bonito, cheap, Keith.
I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the roll, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Mafia, oh man, we didn't want to get the move down to the value area low, guys, but we did see that 2-day red dot printing as we were looking for that push down to the value area low of the range. We came down to that level, guys, where we had a bunch of confluence on that key level of support. And, well, we're getting the bounce from that level. Is the low in? Are we about to rip up to $90,000, $91,000, $95,000, $97,000, guys? Is the low in? Are we going to push to the upside? Or do we have to be careful for another big dump to the downside? I'm going to cover everything on tonight's live stream, guys. I want to cover two major areas of liquidity that we have to be watching. I want to talk about the line in the sand where we're going to be looking if we do get another drop to the downside. There's one more place where I'm going to be looking for a long position for a potential bounce back to the upside. But if we lose that level, guys, we are very likely going to get a bigger drop to the downside. Now, as you guys know, the 2-day was one of the big things that we were looking at on Friday to anticipate the push down to the value area low. We did wind up getting that to print. And now we got some other red dots printing. So we're going to cover the high time frames, the low time frames, so you guys are all ready for those next key levels on Bitcoin. So hopefully you could potentially get into some trades and make money, whether the price is coming up or down, or going up or down. I guess it would be coming up, coming down, whatever. But shout out to the CandleMafia. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys for hanging out with us here and spending your precious time with your boy Frankie Candles and the CandleMafia. But what is going on? We got Chemistry Bro in the chat. What is going on, bro? Good to see you in here. And saying he's ready to take on trading every single day now. So shout out to Ken, bro. I'm excited for you, man. I'm excited for you. And I know you just handed in your thing for your thesis, I guess it was. So hopefully we get to see a little bit more of Kembro around here. But shout out to Kembro. We got Rob the Crypto Snob in the chat. Darren Does Things. Tyler Durden. Crypto Billy. Crypto Anon. You guys know who they are. Show them on some love in the chat. But let's see. We got Dave Hagen in the chat. Said, are you ready for a dump-a-roni and cheese? Shout out to Dave Hagen. We're going to cover everything, and I'm going to talk to you guys about how brutal another potential dump to the downside could get. Like I said, we're going to cover all those key levels. Shout out to Giga Longbottom. Said, it's time! Shout out to Bruce Buffer. Drop those Bruce Buffer emojis in the chat if you have a membership. But we got Wilker in the chat. Said, what up, Frankie? What's going on, Wilker? Welcome in. We got Nick Dunn in the chat. We got Sam Cam said, don't mess with me. Hit that like button. Shout out to Sam. But we got Jesse. Speaking of the likes, guys, he is our unofficial like police. So if he asks you to smash that like button, guys, you know how we roll here. We don't judge. We don't care how you touch it or what you touch it with, but just touch that like button if you appreciate this free analysis and education we give on the channel. It helps us out endlessly. So smash that like button. And plus, it could help you win some free crypto on Friday night's giveaway. Shout out to Bruno. Said, let's go to 70K. Shout out to Bruno. You know those key levels that we're looking at, but I'm going to go over them briefly today. Let's see. Like police on the scene. Shout out to Kembro. Let's go, baby. Let's go. But yeah, guys, we got a Premium Mindset in the chat. Let's see. I said, hey, Frankie Candles, didn't I tell you the value area high was hit on the spot charts on the other stream? Yes. Shout out to Premium Mindset. We're actually going to talk about that as I was short from that actual level, not based off the value area high hit on the spot charts, but we were short from that golden pocket. So I'll kind of cover how we got to where we are right now and where we are likely going to go next. Shout out to F4, Alt F4. Thank you for being here, bro, and thank you for the super chat. Said, LOL, 69x short on BTC for tariff day. Shout out to Alt F4. Yeah, we'll see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens. April 2nd will cause an absolute blood tsunami for Bitcoin. 73K incoming. Shout out to J. Cole. Yeah, we'll see what the tariffs do, guys. But as you know, I am a technical trader, so regardless of what that news is going to bring us, we are obviously, I personally am only using the charts to try to figure out where price is going to go next. And hilariously enough, we did get that 2-day red dot with the money flow continuing out, which could potentially continue our downtrend, breaking structure to the downside once again into our macro key levels. And, is that going to line up with the news? Very likely, if we do get the move down, right? We do have the signals on the chart. But we'll see what happens here, guys. Let's see. Shout out to I don't know how to say your name, but he said, this is my last chance, $400 left. I guess you're talking about buying the dip here. Let's see. Yo, what's going on? Neil's in the chat. Welcome in. And show me the charts. I'll tell you the news every single time. Shout out to Sam Cam. I could not agree more, but we got a lot to look at on tonight's charts, guys, or we got a lot to look at on the charts tonight. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. Let's see. Jim Cramer said, worst day to buy. We all know what that means. Shout out to Base. Yeah. Base Bailey, yeah. God, poor James, as we like to call him. Yeah, it's yeah. Is he going to be the top signal again? We'll see. But yeah, guys, as you know, on Friday, on our live stream, guys, we've been looking at our main volume profile, which still does remain the same here. As we were coming down, I was short. I don't think I have the position on the chart anymore, but we were short in the premium Discord here from the high. Now, we do have our current value area high pulled to the current price action, which has moved down just slightly to about $88,500. That is not why we were short from here. I was short from here based off a golden pocket retracement because at this time, if you actually take a look at that current volume profile that we were looking at, it was actually sitting a little bit higher. And shout out to, I think it was Premium Mindset, I think said it. Notice that the value area high was tapped on a few spot charts, which is not really a huge deal just because we were already in that short position from the golden pocket. A lot of times when you're looking at key levels, guys, if you don't see every single reason that a level is key, right? If you're not looking at Fibonacci retracements, you're probably going to have a value area high, or if you're not looking at moving averages, you're probably going to have a Fibonacci level. So we did have the value area high up here, but we were short from a golden pocket retracement where I was looking to hold that potentially down to the value area low. We got that move down to continue in an absolutely beautiful fashion as we had our 90-minute money flow crossing over into the red right here, which made us anticipate this. This was what we were looking at to start that bigger drop to the downside as we had a daily red dot. We had the market cipher B 116 strategy, daily red dot, 90-minute money flow crossover into the red, and that short absolutely slapped down to the POC. I wanted to take some partial profit, and I honestly don't even know what happened, guys. I want to say I fat fingered the keyboard, but I just did the wrong thing. I accidentally closed the position in full. I don't know why. I had 100 things going on at the time. So I actually closed that in full by accident. Wanted to take partial take profits. As you guys know, we talked about on Friday, hey, if we can't get above this POC, we could potentially anticipate the drop down to the value area low, which is exactly what happened. And there were a few things on the chart that were making us anticipate that, right? We had the 2-day, which was printing a red dot. And we knew, hey, if that red dot does print and confirm, we could likely see a continuation down, and the natural place for price to go is going to be that value area low, because we all know once you get below that POC and you cannot get back above, we are going to be looking for that drop down to the value area low, where we did have another long setup. Now, this actually presented itself over the weekend. I was not at the chart, so I didn't personally take this, but we did have a long setup from this level in the premium Discord, which did wind up giving us a nice bounce. We had some really, really nice bullish divergences here on a lot of medium time frames, guys. We have a 1 hour bullish divergence into the value area low, right? You don't just want a long or short bull divs and bear divs, right? You want to make sure you're coming into a key level, but we did come into the value area low / golden pocket retracement with the 1 hour bullish divergence, the 2 hour, the 3 hour, and beautifully here, the 4 hour bull div, which did give us that little bounce to the upside. Our target for that is going to be the POC of the range, which we just barely came up and front ran here. So we did get the bounce from the low towards that POC. Now, this is a pretty interesting rejection, guys, because this is not just the point of control of the range. We had a lot of other reasons or key levels within this zone, which does make me a little bit suspicious for a continued drop to the downside. But within our overall 4 hour range that we're looking at here, let me extend this back over to our current price action. So this volume profile, just drank a bunch of coffee, guys. I got some heartburn. Your boy Frankie Candle's got some heartburn, baby. Let's see. If Trump knows anything, which I'm not sure of, he knows property. Yo, shout out to Ken, bro. Yeah. He wants low rates, doesn't care about crushing markets to get them. Shout out to Kembro. This is something we've been talking about. In order for the rate cuts to come in, guys, sometimes the markets need to see max pain. And I know the question is, did we already see the max pain? It could be. I'm going to cover kind of what I'm looking at here. But maybe we do need to see a little bit more pain before they finally cut rates and before we could get that bigger move to the upside. And I do think that has a lot to do with when we're going to see the move up, guys. I do think once they start cutting rates, that is really where the risk on assets are obviously going to start, shining. Until we wind up getting that, guys, we might just be due for some more chop and potentially even more breaks to the downside, right? But overall, this is still our overall range, and I want to be very clear about this, guys. The volume profiles are absolutely undefeated here. Obviously, this moved down a little bit, but you go from the value area low. We look for the move to the POC. We get it. Yeah, and then on Friday, we did not really have beautiful confirmation here for a big long setup. I did take a scalp long that wound up playing out, I believe, right after the stream, of course, right? We get into the long position from the POC. I did take this off a 5-minute swing failure pattern. We got in right at the low, and then we got this little push to the upside. And actually, no, I guess this did just come up during the stream because we ended about 7:30, I think. So, yeah, we did get most of that move up during the stream. But as you guys know, once you're at that point of control, we have that 2-day red dot printing. And, once you get stuck back below that POC, you look for that value area low. So this range does remain exactly the same, or not exactly the same, but currently, pretty much the same, right? We have the value area low at about $81,377. This is also accompanied by the golden pocket retracement, which we just barely tapped here. But, the bottom of the golden pocket does still live just below that volume profile, but these are the major medium time frame kind of levels, right? Value area low, $81,300, all the way down to the golden pocket at about $80,779. And we do have, a bunch of key levels in here that did not get tapped yet, guys. Why were we even looking for the bounce here? It all had to do with the fact that we had a ton of confluence down here. Not only the value area low, not only the golden pocket, but we also had a daily naked point of control, which we have now tapped. I've labeled that as a tap daily naked. We have a weekly naked point of control still sitting under there naked. Cold and naked at that. And then I believe we also have, a daily level in here as well, which is also front ran. So this is still a key level of support, guys. It's simply the volume profile or value area low of our range. As long as we can remain above this zone, we could keep that door open to the POC of the range, flip that POC. That's where we could look for the full fill of that volume profile up to the value area high. Now, we do have some local levels of resistance in here where we will be looking for scalp shorts in the premium Discord. You have to understand, although we have the major range, 3 key levels, value area low, low, POC sitting at 84,000, and then the value area high at 88.5. These are our major levels, but we have to understand, guys, we do have those local levels of resistance as well. We have the anchored VWAP coming in here at about $86,400. So this is probably going to kind of wiggle around a little bit, but this is going to be a big level to get above. In case we do get above this POC, that's door number one that we have to get above. Flip that point of control, and I'm going to talk about why this is a little bit suspicious, in my opinion, for a continuation down. But if we do somehow get back above that POC, we could look for a push up, I would say, into about $86,000 where we have the anchored VWAP. We also have our full golden pocket 786 retracement here from the high to the low. That anchored VWAP is going to come in beautiful confluence with that golden pocket, depending on when and if we get up there. This is definitely going to be a key level of resistance, right? So golden pocket at about 85, almost 86K, right? It's really between 85,890 and 86,000. Anchored VWAP coming in confluence with that. And then just above that, we have the 786 weekly naked point of control and a daily level there. And to add a little bit more confluence into this golden pocket, guys, we also have a weekly horizontal right in the middle of that. So this is going to be kind of an intermediary level of resistance. If we do get above that point of control, we can at least look for a continuation up into between about $86,000 to $87,000 into that Fibonacci retracement and all that confluence that we have on those levels, right? So confluence here. But we got to get above that POC. And I'll be honest, guys, we had a CME gap here that we filled, and now we're getting the retracement to the downside. So, to be quite honest, before I jump into some of these more intricate levels, I do want to kind of talk about the overall state of everything right now on the higher time frames, right? So obviously that 2-day time frame was kind of what we were looking at to anticipate a potential continuation down to that value area low. You can see we got the 2-day red dot. It confirmed. We wound up getting the push down. Now we're getting the little bounce. But if you creep up to the higher time frames here, guys, we do still have a fresh 3-day green dot printing here. Let me hide some of the horizontal levels real quick. We do actually, I'll hide all this, right? I'll just get rid of this. So we have the 3-day red dot printing, right? This is obviously going to be a higher time frame bearish signal. And then the 4-day red dot is also printing. And then we almost got the 5 and 6 day, or I'm sorry, the 6-day and the weekly green dots. These obviously got rejected at the 0 line, which is exactly what we looked at on Friday's live stream, saying, hey, if that 2-day red dot pushes us down to the value area low, we would likely see that weekly and 5-day or 6-day get rejected at the 0 line, because this was actually a pretty nice looking VWAP up until we wound up getting the 2-day red dot to print. We were very, very close to printing that green dot. And as you guys know, over the weekend or on Friday, we were saying, like, over the weekend, guys, like, all eyes on that weekly green dot and the 2-day red dot, right? Because if that 2-day red dot prints, probably going to get the move down. If it doesn't print, then we could potentially get the weekly green dot, which would give us that continuation of this larger retracement to the upside. Unfortunately, the 2-day did wind up showing face a little bit more. Money flow still coming out here on the 2-day. I hate to bring this back up because we've been talking about it for absolutely ever. But as long as this 2-day money flow stays in the red, guys, we have to be really careful, as we have been, for lackluster retracements to the upside, for lower highs and potential lower lows, which could bring us to take out our low here at about $76,640 into our next key levels of support down there, which are going to be sitting right here, right? We have the daily and the weekly naked point of control that we've been watching forever, getting closer to about $75,000, right? Daily naked point of control sitting at, just below the low here at about 76.4, all the way down to the weekly naked and the 786 in the middle of that. But we do have the weekly naked sitting at about $75,000. So we got to watch this, right? The 3-day red dot, right? If this does give us the bigger continuation down, this is the next macro level of support, guys. If we lose this level, this is where I think I saw a bunch of people talking about it in the chat. We're going to 75K, or we're going to 70K, we're going to 72K. If we lose this weekly naked point of control at 75K, guys, very simply, we do have the, I'm sorry if I'm showing this, labeled as how I feel showing this, right? I'm sorry if I have to bring these levels up. But if we lose that $75,000 level, guys, obviously we have the golden pocket sitting between $72,000 and $75,000 in confluence with the value area high of our previous range. So, if we're going to get the absolute bloodbath, if the tariffs are going to give us that huge move down, obviously we have some local levels we could watch as well. I'm going to bring up in a second. But we start losing $75,000, guys. That $72,000 to $70,000 zone is going to be absolutely huge, right? Because if, obviously, we get stuck underneath here, guys, could cause a much more brutal drop to the downside, which, again, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I've talked about this so much in the past. I'm not going to really cover it today. But just so you know, right, if that 3-day red dot does give us the continuation down, the next real level that I will be watching before we even pull up the, dreaded lower levels, we do have that $75,000 weekly naked point of control up to 76.4 at that daily, right? So that's going to be key level, like the big macro key level that I'm watching if we do continue down. Because as you guys know, as we looked at this on Friday, we were talking about how, hey, we could potentially be rejecting a key Fibonacci level, right? We don't know. When we look at this bigger retracement to the upside, guys, we don't know if we're going to get that big move up to our larger golden pocket sitting closer to $97,000, or if we're going to come up and reject some of these local retracement levels. And we did reject that golden pocket. This was where I took that short position that I took down to the POC, right? This is an area, if you're looking for lower highs on Bitcoin, right? If you're going to take a look at this, if you're looking for lower highs and lower lows to come in on the higher time frames, where are we going to be looking, right? Well, first, you want to look at the full pulled from the high to the low. That's sitting at about $97,000, the level I just showed. But if we don't make it all the way up there, we have to keep an eye on these other confluent Fibonacci retracements. This golden pocket was coming in at $91,000, which is obviously confluent with our overall volume profile here. You have the value area low, golden pocket confluence, right? But we don't know if we're going to get up there. So you got to take a look at the other lower high here, pulled from this lower high to the low, and that's where that golden pocket comes in. These were the key levels on the way to the upside. Golden pocket 786, potential area to put in a lower high. If we got above that, we could then look to closer, I would probably expect the $96,000 to $97,000 level. You have the 786, the POC, and then the larger golden pocket sitting up there as well. There's a ton of resistance in this zone, guys, right? So like if we got above the value area low, we could have looked up here. But as of right now, right, we didn't even come and test the value area low. We simply rejected this local Fibonacci retracement. And this is still technically a level that is a high probability area to potentially put in a lower high before putting in a macro lower low, which would have to call for a break of structure to the downside, which would bring us down to that $75,000 level. And again, that's a reassess the situation kind of deal, right? We come down there, we see bullish confirmations, we could look for longs. If we do not get any bullish confirmations there, we get stuck under the weekly naked point of control at 75K. That's where we look for the bigger drop down. So all those key levels remain exactly the same. Those are all the same exact levels that we've been looking at. I just like to kind of cover it because we see it play out a little bit more. We saw it play out a little bit more here. So just be careful here. If we do come down to break structure, this is an area where that lower high could come in. Now, if we come up to some of the lower time frames here, I do want to talk about some of the local levels in here, right? Let me get rid of that fib. Let me go ahead and hide the upper range, turn off the nakeds, and let's take a look at our current range here, right? So, again, locally, right, as long as we stay above this value area low, we could look to stay inside this range. Once we flip that POC, I do think $86,000 is going to be the next stop to come up to those local levels I just talked about. And then once we get in there, we can look to shuffle our way up to the value area high, right? Now, if the thing I don't love about this, guys, I have to talk about this, right? We had a CME gap here. We were talking about this in the premium live stream earlier today. If we pull up the CME chart, you guys can see what I don't love about this is we did have the CME gap, right? We wound up, CME closes, we get the gap to the downside, we kind of wiggle around, and then, we came up and filled this gap pretty perfectly right into a golden pocket 786 Fibonacci retracement, right? Now, getting above this 786 is very important for two reasons, right? Because it gets us above the CME gap. It also gets us above our POC of the range, right? CME gap is pretty much sitting in that same spot, right on that POC at about $84,000. So if we could reclaim 84K, I do think the next stop is going to be 86,000 in the context of our larger profile. And then we have to battle that local resistance before looking up towards that value area high. Now, if we did come up to fill that CME gap to put in the lower high and continue our trend to the downside, I do want to talk about some other levels, right? Obviously, the value area low, the golden pocket with all those other horizontal levels that we have in here that I just went over, that could be a place that we get a bounce. But once we start losing that level, guys, the last line of defense, which is another level that we've been looking at forever, ever since we were able to pull this fib, right? Ever since we were able to pull from this low to the high, right? We do have our 786 sitting down here, which is very, very interesting to me because if you take a look at that 786, we also have a daily horizontal level coming in there as well. So this is another area. This is the line in the sand, in my opinion, even though it's like kind of close. If we do come down, we lose this range, that is the next key level of support. Have this marked off on your chart. And this is very simply the 786 retracement when pulled from the low to the high. And if we are going to be looking for bounces, guys, we want that bounce to either come on the golden pocket. And if we lose that golden pocket, not only can we expect, or not only will we also be losing all those other horizontal levels we talked about, but once you lose that golden pocket, where's the next likely place for price to go? You're going to be looking down towards that 786 retracement. And because we have the confluence here on that daily horizontal as well, this could be another area where we could look for a potential bounce, get back into the range, and then maybe we can go fill the range if we don't do it right now. But Here's the thing. This is the line in the sand, guys. Really, specifically the daily at about $78,336. If we lose this, guys, that's the line in the sand, right? This is where we can't reclaim this level again. 75K is very likely, in my opinion, right? Or at least to come down to our confluent zone of support, right? We don't know if we're 100% going to come down to the weekly naked point of control. I would think it's probably likely. But if we pull up that next support here, right? Daily and weekly naked points of controls, we lose that 786. I'm expecting to come down here to our next big zone. But until we lose this level, we could potentially look for bounces on the value area low, right? Just simple volume profile analysis here, right? We are inside our range here. As long as we stay above that value area low, we could look for bounces back to the POC and then start our journey to the value area high. If we lose it, the if this then that is if we lose this, I'm looking down here, right? And then once we lose that, that's where we get the bigger drop down to 75K. So these are the next key levels to the downside that I'm going to be looking at for bounces, right? Because if you look at this, Market Cipher B, 16-hour green dot is printing, right? The Market Cipher B has been a little chopped up in this kind of gross price action that we've had. It's not very clean. But if you look at this green dot on the 16-hour, right, money flows flopping around on the 16-hour. But if we have that green dot here, how long do we have for this to confirm? Where's it at? We got an hour and a half, almost a little more, almost 2 hours to confirm this green dot. We also have our 1 hour money flow crossover into the green, potentially incoming here. So if you want higher prices for Bitcoin, guys, at least before another drop down, this 1 hour money flow is going to be what I'm looking at. Just like we looked at the 90-minute up here to cause our bigger drop to the downside, and we got it, right? The bigger move to the upside, if we're going to see this range hold as a traditional volume profile, bull divs at the low, hold the value area low, come to the POC, get above the POC, and start pushing up to higher prices. We need that 1 hour money flow crossover into the green. So that's kind of like a bullish setup that we have on Market Cipher B right now, but the fact that we rejected that CME gap so perfectly in confluence with the POC, in confluence with the Fibonacci retracements, it's a little bit suspicious to me to potentially come back down. So right now, guys, I am actually not holding, very rare situation, I am not holding any trades right now. I closed my short from the high here, and I was unable to get into my position here over the weekend. I was not at the chart, so I didn't take the long that we had in the premium, but that one technically is playing out. But as of right now, I am simply sitting on my hands, and honestly, on the higher time frames, this is like the last line of defense medium time frame, and then high time frame, this is 100% 75,000 last line of defense before getting the bigger drop to the low 70s, right? And maybe even 69K, where we have our macro POC of the previous range that we consolidated in for about 7 months. So this is how I'm playing it, right? We made a bunch of money last week. I went into I'm happy, guys, right? I locked in my profits here, although I closed the whole position by accident instead of partial TP. We got the move we anticipated. I missed out on that move, but I was not FOMO shorting here, trying to capitalize on that move. I cut my win here, walked into the weekend with my profits, and we're just reassessing the situation now. So yeah, those are the levels that I'm looking at. We'll see if we can get the continuation that we're in. It's like definitely not impossible to see more pain here, right? Until they start cutting rates, maybe we get the drop down to the 70s, right? The low 70s, and then they start cutting rates, and then maybe that's where we could potentially take off. I'm still long-term bullish on Bitcoin as of right now when it comes to the charts, guys. I don't think the bear market is here. I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong, but I still do not believe that the bear market is here. But I would never tell everybody just hold on to your spot bags. The bull market's 100% going to continue. But from a chart perspective, even if we come down and play with those low 70s, guys, maybe that's where we get the rate cuts and we get the bigger move up. Going to be a more complex situation than just saying like, hey, bull market's on, let's take off from here. So yeah, we really need to see these high time frames start to shape up as far as the money flow goes, right? Take a look at the 3-day money flow, still technically trending to the downside with the fresh red dot, right? So that's not necessarily what we like to see from massive moves up. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking at. Still a little bit sussed out on the higher time frames, but lower time frames, as long as we can hold inside this range, is this the low? I'm not super convinced, but it could be, right? Yeah, we'll see what happens, right? I am simply sitting on my hands waiting for the higher levels, right? We're waiting up here for the bigger shorts. Obviously, we have some other setups that we're looking at as far as day trades and scalps in the premium Discord. But for the bigger trades, right, bigger levels are up here. And that brings me to kind of to the second part of this live stream, guys. And that is taking a look at the big areas of liquidity that we have sitting on the chart right now. And if we pull this up real quick, I'm going to show this. the big areas of liquidity, right? And this does kind of line up with what we have on the chart. Above these highs, guys, we do have a significant amount of liquidity, really sitting above about $87,700, really above this wick right here. There's a lot of liquidity leading us up into that value area high. And if I go ahead and pull that up real quick, you can see, right, that it really does start here at about, $88,000, like I said, right above this wick. And then it really starts to pick up above these highs, leading us into about $90,000, which obviously does push us into that big key level of resistance, where we have a large, important, 786 Fibonacci retracement, right? As I said, took the short from the top here off that golden pocket. And then if we do wind up continuing up, we start taking that liquidity. We could get that liquidity to push us up into that 786, right? So the question here, when you look at the liquidation heat maps, it's like, are we going to get the push up into all this liquidity, or are we going to come and flush these lows one more time, pushing us? And where does this liquidity stop, guys? $78,650 is where that liquidity lies. 78,000, right inside that next lower level that we're looking at on that 786, right? So again, we don't need to know 100% if this is the low, right? Unless you're just looking to like gamble on a long position and hope that it comes back up. Like I said, the long position in the premium was from down here. But if we're going to come and take all that liquidity that we have sitting above here, right, we would hope that we can hold above that value area low. So as long as we hold above there and if we are able to creep up, get above $86,000, that's where we could potentially look to sweep that liquidity into the 786 Fibonacci retracement, deviate above the value area high, and potentially look for more short positions back into the range, etc. But obviously we'll cross that bridge when we get there, because it's just because you have liquidity up there does not guarantee, guys, that you're just going to get an SFP and a massive dump to the downside, right? That liquidity could just act as fuel to continue push to the upside. And that's why we have to trade off of the actual confirmations and the reaction off of those key levels. But until we get up there, right, it's a sit on your hands and wait situation, right? So for the move up, if we see that, just understand we do have liquidity sitting up here. And again, it lines up perfectly with our volume profile. Get up to the high, sweep the liquidity. That's the deviation above. Look to get back in and come back down to the low. Now, if we come lower, understand that liquidity is sitting down here. So if we come down first, we could sweep some of that liquidity, hold the 786, and then we have an opportunity to come back into the range. But until we get down here, or I should say, until we get down here or here, I am sitting on my hands, right? If price comes up first, I'll be looking at some of the scalp short positions that we have that we're looking at in the premium. But until, other than that, right, just waiting for those bigger levels to get hit. Waiting for those high probability areas for price to get a reaction from, guys. Not just longing and shorting random willy-nilly levels. We have to have the actual setups and the key levels tapped. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at. I would be cautious here. I would be cautious. We have the 4-hour VWAP rolling over. If we are going to get a drop down to this level, guys, again, it's really hard to say. If we do come down, we have some opportunities to put in some bull divs down here again, potentially get another drop. But I'm treating this as a volume profile, looking for longs at the low, right, and not looking for shorts until we come into the high. Again, on this time frame, right, on the higher time frames. For the lower time frames, we do have some other scalp positions. I'm not going to talk about those just because, that's for the premium Discord. But right now, POC, $84,000. We got to get above it. The CME gap's there as well. Flip that. Look for the move up. Come down. Those are the key levels I'm looking at for longs. Let's see. Let me just scroll up here and chat real quick. Oh no, we got rugged? What the heck is going on here? No, we're live. That's so weird. Why do we keep going out? We keep going out on the YouTubes, but I don't know. It says I'm all good on my side. So just let me know if you guys can hear and see me. Let's see. Yeah, we must have froze for a second. Let's see. Maybe an alternative nickname, Frozen Frankie. Yeah, what the heck, guys? I gotta get we gotta get some fiber up in here, I guess. I don't know. It's never been a problem. I don't know why it keeps happening all of a sudden randomly. Can we take a look at AVAX? Yes, we will take a look at some of the altcoins, guys. Let's see. Shout out to Crypto Zenki says, no, we're gonna dump from April 1st to 4th. Oh, I thought that said 7K, and I was like, Zenki, come on, dude, 7K, but it says 74K. Yeah, so that would be. Depending on how that dump wound up happening, it could pull us into the that same macro key level of support, right? Down here, $75,000 weekly naked point of control, right? If we do get the bigger drop down, we'll see what happens, right? could kind of wick us down there, hit those 74s, and then that would be the key level of support. And then on the way back up, right, if we dip below that, we start hitting that 74K level, we dip below 75K, and we can't get back above there, that's where we could potentially see the bigger drop down. But that is where I have that big line in the sand sitting at about, 75K. It's like 74.9 something, I think is the exact level. But yeah, if we get a push down there, I'm going to be looking for bounces. If we lose it, right, I would be very careful on that bearish retest. Now, hyper locally, I mean, I guess we could pull this up just for some fun. Hyper locally, this is like a little profile that I'm looking at. I took a look at this with the premium Discord earlier today. If we just go ahead and pull this volume profile, it's funny. We were actually looking at this, right? As we lost that CME gap up here, we were looking at this local volume profile, and we talked about this on the first drop down. Like, hey, guys, if we lose this value area high, just understand POC is going to be very likely. And then what we were looking at on the premium live stream was a potential retracement into the local golden pocket 786 retracement for a lower high. And then once you lose that value area high for the second time, you're looking for the POC. And right now, guys, we are losing this local POC, which could call for the local move down to our, scalp. I would call this like very local value area low at about 81.7, which also does bring us, at that point, I'm probably looking for a bigger drop down to our bigger key level. But just to kind of identify what's going to likely happen here locally, if we can't get back above this local POC 82.7, we could look for that continuation down. I almost took the short here on the premium live stream, but we just didn't have a lot of confirmation there. We didn't have any like significant bear divs or bearish CVD, but you just get that little retracement. That's where you're looking for the lower high. And then once you get sucked into this volume profile, POC is extremely likely. And if we can't get above the POC, might be able to shoot down towards that value area low. So I'll even, as we take a look at the altcoins, I'll even put an alert here in case we get the dump while we're live. We'll just get an alert there. But yeah, that's kind of like hyper locally. This would be like a scalp range I'm looking at. Once we got stuck under this value area high, you're just looking for that volume profile to fill in full, guys. The volume profiles are just absolutely ridiculous. Deviate above the high, look for your confirmations, money flow comes out, move to the POC, potential move down to the low, right? And then once we come on down here, right, maybe we deviate from this local profile, right? Tap into some of these key levels of support we have in this blue box, right? Get a move back up, reclaim the local profile, come back up, flip here, get above the POC, and then look for the larger profile to play out. But yeah, that's just like an honorable mention. If you're not trying to scalp the low time frames, that's not going to be as important to you. I covered all the real high time frame and real significant levels just before on the higher time frames. That's where you have higher time frame levels. But other than that, guys, sitting here waiting for the next setup to present itself. And yeah, I wish I could be like a little bit more deterministic here based off money flow and market cipher B, but it's just not super it's just super choppy here, guys. Like, it's just the environment that we're in right now. So we're just going to trade this range until it absolutely breaks. And then once it does break, hopefully we'll be in a short position enjoying that ride to the downside. Let's see. Shout out to Base Bailey. Said, oh my God, we're going to zero. Somebody call Satoshi. Somebody call Satoshi. Dang it. Pump this thing back to the upside. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Everyone expects the 70s. Yeah, shout out to Nico. I mean, listen, that's kind of a lot of times the masses get it wrong, but they do get it right once in a while, right? A lot of times, like when we're looking for a level and everyone starts calling for that level, in my opinion, it does make it a little less likely to happen. Like once it becomes like the obvious situation, it becomes a little less likely to happen, in my opinion. But it's not just worth. I don't think it's worth just like totally writing it off, just because everyone else expects it. But there is something to that for sure. I would agree with that for sure. Shout out to Irvin says more coffee. Go get coffee, Frankie. Pump Bitcoin. But yeah, we're gonna take a look at some altcoins here as well. Let's see. Yo, shout out to BJK. Yes, my long got stopped out. It'll pump now. Shout out to BJK. I know the feeling, bro. I know the feeling. But overall, guys, I mean, really just seeing what we looked for on Friday, right? Couldn't reclaim the POC. We got the weekend dump into the value area low. And now technically we're getting the bounce off bull divs on the 4 hour, which is nice. I wish I could be a little bit more confident here saying that, like, a lot of times, guys, when we come in, right, like as you wait for the volume profile to fill, when you have those 4 hour bull divs, usually it's a really good sign, right? This is the 2 hour, but we also got it on the 4 hour. It's usually a really good sign, like, hey, if you have money flow coming up on those bull divs, right? Like, it's a pretty good sign that you can get the continuation through the whole profile. But I will be honest, right now, I just don't know if I feel that confident about it, right? You have your 4 hour VWAP rolling over. I don't know. Money flow still in the red. It tried to come up, but it's getting rejected locally here. If we have the 4-hour money flow beautifully coming up towards the 0 line, I'd feel a little better for that full fill of the range. But everything is contextual, just like it was down here at the POC on Friday, right? Like, can't get above that POC, you look for the move down to the value area low. Simply put, right? And we've been looking at this level ever since we were up here. Honestly, if you wait long enough, the volume profiles just wind up playing out, right? Like, even if we kind of bing-bong around here, right, deviate below the low, right, maybe you slip it one more time before the full fill. But, yeah, this is just what I'm doing and how I'm personally handling the price action, guys. I'm just going to wait for the bigger key levels. If I was on the charts this weekend, I'd be in this long that we had in the premium Discord from the value area low, but I just wasn't there. Can't catch them all. Gotta catch them all. Shout out to Fox, says, bull run is over. That's all she wrote. Sell so I can buy. Shout out to Fox. Yeah, maybe. Could be. Let's see. No shot of a blow off top. This is like 7-8. Shout out to Nico. I'm not 100% sure exactly what you mean. I guess you're not anticipating a massive blow off top this cycle. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, guys. A lot of people say that this bull run just started. I disagree with that, right? That's not me saying that the top is definitely in, but this is not just starting, right? Like, we have been in a bull run for quite some time, right? And by the way, higher time frames still are healthy, right? Like, take a look, take market cipher B off the chart, take off your key levels, right? Like, you're just looking at this as a massive uptrend, right? Like, as long as we don't break back down into this massive 7-month accumulation range, we could put in higher lows and higher highs here. Now, would that look like a massive blow off top like it was in 2017? I don't know, right? I do think there's a little bit less of a chance unless we get like, I don't know. You could argue that there's bigger money in now, so maybe you do get it. But I'll be honest. As this asset matures, as the market cap climbs, it's going to be harder to get like those like gigantic, like the asset's going to kind of stabilize over time, right? You're going to get those explosive moves up, and those explosive moves down are going to get a little bit muted as that market cap rises. But from a high time frame perspective here, guys, like this is higher highs and higher lows, 100%. You can't argue that. But again, it doesn't mean that the top isn't in, right? I don't personally fall in that camp just yet, but I'm prepared for that, right? I bought in at the lows here, so kind of in a cushy position when it comes to that. But yeah, I mean, we still have these highs down here. The market is very emotional, guys. Like, just let it be known, right? If we were pumping up, if we were at like $91,000 right now, people would be freaking out, super bullish, all-time highs incoming. Everyone that was bearish down here is going to be bullish again. But I try to keep it as realistic as possible. We had that 2-day money flow coming out. Very cautious for those lower highs and lower lows. But yeah, that's for the most part what I am looking at until we hit our next key levels. That's kind of what I'm waiting for. Now you guys have all those key levels and the zones I'll be looking at for bounces. Shout out to Buckeye said, hopefully my tax return gets direct deposited by the end of the week. Shout out to Buckeye. Hopefully that times out with the market pretty good. Shout out to Chemistry Bro said, I am unprepared, bought too much ETH and other alts. LOL. Shout out to Chem Bro. Yeah, it's obviously the alts are still, feeling the pain right now, but we'll see. I mean, Bitcoin, obviously the alts have gone into like more of a bear market, but Bitcoin, right? Like, people who are saying we are in a bear market, I don't really know what they're classifying as a bear market, right? But could the top be in? You guys know I'm open to anything being the case. Nico was asking if I think it's possible. Listen, my thought process is, let's assume that the bull market is not over, right? If we're going to assume that the bull market is not over, right, and you are looking for higher lows and higher highs, right? For me personally, right, again, that $70,000 to $72,000 is going to be level is going to be key. Pulled from our August lows all the way to the all-time high. Golden pocket 786. Technically, the 786 brings you all the way down to 62K. Once you get down there, though, you're starting to get accepted into your range here. So I would prefer not to see that 786. But possibilities are open to come in, put one more low in on the structural highs here into that golden pocket retracement where you could potentially put in a higher low and a higher high. How that exactly plays out is a little bit harder to say. If we do come up for another break of structure to the upside, and we do put a new all-time high in, I'm looking first between about 114 to 120K. Once we get above there, my next major target for Bitcoin to the upside would be $137,000. I will be taking a lot of profit at 137K if we make it back up there, right? That's where everyone's going to start talking about 250K, 350, 500K. Oh my God, there's news articles. This bank says 500K for Bitcoin, right? This happens every single cycle. I am not falling victim to that. I will be taking profits. And at the end of the day, even if we did go up to 215K or whatever it is, right? At 137, I understand I have been enjoying these gains from down here, right? So at that point, it becomes more and more risky for me to hold my position, right? Because, at that point, I'm already up massively. I don't care about at 170K to 200K. I don't care about that 50% gain when I've already enjoyed most of the move to the upside. I'm okay on letting that thing go without me. Because, again, I bought back much lower. I know not everybody's in that situation, but that's just why I'm handling those things the way I am, right? I will be taking profit on 137K if we make it up there. I already did take a little bit of profit, not a ton, a little bit of profit. This was my first target here for the bull run, right? Between about $102,000 and $91,000, right? And we came in here, we wiggled around, and then we lost it, right? So I did take small profits up here. If we continue up, I will take even more profit. And then if we continue up to 155K, that's where I'm taking even more profit. And at that point, I am mostly out of the market at that point. I'll probably just let the rest ride. We'll have to assess the situation as it develops. But, just keep in mind here, guys, if you're worried about the bear market, right, we could potentially see something like that, right? And then if you're worried about the bear market here, think about how hard that situation is going to be if you come down to the golden pocket. So, at some point in investing, right, like trading aside, right, like when it just comes to long-term investing, you have to take the risk, right? Like there's no guarantee that the higher low comes in. This could be the all-time high. We could go down to 50K, 30K, whatever it is, right? That 70 to 80% drop. But, you have to risk it for the biscuit, right? And that's why I always say, right, like a lot of people took a lot of risk as Bitcoin was pumping. This is not where you want to buy, right? You wind up in a bad situation because at that point, right, if you buy in, assuming you top ticked the buy there, a 35% dump from from your entry is like, that's pretty brutal to endure. But we're in crypto, right? This is not unlikely, or I should say uncommon. But yeah, that again, that's why we have these key levels between 72 and 70K. But until we break down below this and really start breaking into this lower range, in my opinion, right, structurally, we are still intact here, right? I just understand everyone's not going to get bullish until this happens, right? No one's going to be talking about buying the lows because they think it's going lower. So yeah, you got to be careful with being super deterministic, right? That's why we look at the bullish case, the bearish case, and I try to let you guys know which way I'm leaning and how I'm personally playing it, right? Because no one's going to be 100% certain which way it's going to go, right? So you have to look at both cases and have a plan for both scenarios, right? It's the only way you're going to be able to make money, not only long-term investing, but especially when you're trading, right? You have to look at that, right? If we only looked at the bullish cases, right, I would be saying, like, it's impossible to say, oh my God, guys, we tapped the value area low with bullish divergences on the 4-hour. Sometimes money flow and everything is pointing in the right direction, and we could be very confident in the full fill of the range. But when you have chop like this, you can't be fully certain, right? It's the same thing here. We came down to the POC. We had a lot of support here yet on Friday, but we didn't get any real confirmations for a big move up from here. So we sat on our hands. We waited for the 2-day to potentially bring us down to the next key level where there's a high probability for a bounce. We get it. And what happens when we hit that level? We wind up getting the bounce, a nice 3.5% move in towards that POC, right? But if I was 100% certain, it's like, hey, this is the low, we're going to $1 million. It's never going to be that clear, unfortunately. But hopefully these key levels and the volume profiles kind of clear up not only where you're likely to get bounces from and where you can likely look for fills of ranges, but you also kind of gives you key levels that, if lost, you can look for continuations down, right? Like, for example, if we get the bigger drop down into our accumulation range down here, we pull up that volume profile, right? We know that if we do get the bigger move down, sure, you get the bounce off the golden pocket, but once you start losing this value area high POC, bigger drop down towards the bottom of this range, /786, is probably going to be likely, right? So you don't just want to like blindly long here if it looks like you're going to get accepted into your volume profile for a bigger move down. That's why, you're not just going to like look at this as key support and be like, hey, once we get down there, I'm just going to set a limit order and make $1 bazillion. You have to analyze the reaction you get off these levels. What does the chart look like when you get down there? Because if it doesn't look good for a bounce, right, you're probably going to do the same thing that we did on Friday, which is sit on your hands at the POC and wait for the value area low. Same thing on those higher time frames, right? If you lose that POC and you don't get bullish confirmations, you're probably going to sit on your hands and wait for the lower levels, right? And that's another reason why the volume profiles are so powerful, right? It could not only give you areas to look for longs or look for shorts, but you know, hey, if I don't get the confirmations at this high or this low for a long or short position, I'm just going to sit on my hands and wait to melt right through it and look for that next key level. So there you go. Let's see. Shout out to J. Cole said ETH is going to retest the bear market lows at this point. Shout out to J. Cole. So let's jump into Ethereum real quick, guys. If you want to see your favorite altcoins, go ahead and drop those alts in the chat right now. Kembro or Rob the Crypto Snob. I think Rob is still here. Let's do like 2 requests. I'll run through a bunch of alts that I want to look at right now, and then we'll do a couple of requests. So go ahead and drop those altcoins in the chat right now, and we will just skip ETH. It sucks. Shout out to Oculus. Yeah, to be quite honest, guys, like if you've been paying attention to the live streams, there's really not that much to update here on Ethereum. But if we take a look here, obviously, right, ever since we got rejected out of this range, right, and I'll just actually hide this little mini range real quick. Ever since we got rejected out of this range at about $2,100, we knew once we lost this level, we were very likely to get sucked into our lower volume profile, which was sitting here between value area high at 1942, beautiful year to be alive, down to the POC at about 1850. We got the drop into our range, down to the POC, slipped the POC, back to the high, back to the POC, back to the high. We got the little breakout here where we were looking for potential lower highs on our key, Fibonacci, retracements. Come on. Right here, golden pocket, 786, in line with our value area low of that prior range. We wound up putting in that lower high, and what do? We put in the lower low, breaking structure to the downside. We didn't break this wick, but we did get the lower low here into below our POC, right? So right now, Ethereum's been a little bit of a peculiar situation, guys, because on the higher time frames, I'll be honest, this is... You lose the value area high, you look to go to the POC. Once you get stuck under this POC, you could potentially anticipate another drop down here to the value area low. Now, this is not to say that we can't get bounces back to the upside. It doesn't guarantee that we have to come down here. But if we want to go up, guys, you got to reclaim this POC at some point. And in my opinion, just because we've gotten accepted into this range, honestly, like if you're looking at this from a volume profile perspective, a loss of the value area high, POC, you would kind of anticipate this range to fill in full to the low. Now, again, it doesn't mean you can't come up here and just get the breakout, but you really got to get moving, and it's not just the POC you got to get out of, right? This is just step number 1. You really got to get out of this value area high, and more importantly, you got to get accepted into your upper range. So, like, I'm not really, like, I may take some shots at longs down here on Ethereum, like, locally, but at the end of the day, right, like, you have a lot of work to do here to get a big move up, right? Because it's not just, oh man, let me just separate this real quick. Let me just relabel this mini VP. And okay, let me just grab this real quick. Bada boom, bada bing, right? So to get the bigger move up, right? Like, I don't know, man. Like, you're getting stuck under this POC and value. Really, you got to get above this value area high. And then even then, right, you're going to be looking at your larger volume profile. You got the value area low above, and then this is still your real doorway to higher prices, right? Obviously, you would want to try to find your entries down here, but you're just running into major resistance. In my opinion, for like swing longs on Ethereum, definitely going to be, in my opinion, a much healthier place to look for swing longs down towards 1640 all the way down to about 1536, which has a lot of confluence. We have a daily level, a weekly level. We have a macro 786, the value area low. Like, this is really the bigger swing level for Ethereum, in my opinion, if we get the bigger move down. And again, the fact that we're losing that POC is not that great. If we get above here, flip the value area low, maybe we could come back up, but it's not really until we start getting back above this value area low at $2,100 that I would be looking for the bigger move up. Until then, we're just stuck inside this range. So yeah, this POC is sitting at 1851. That's your first level to get above. And then once you get above that, maybe you can get that move into the value area high. But again, from a larger kind of high time frame volume profile perspective, I don't really like taking trades in the middle of a big range like this. I would rather take the longs at the lows. Not a guarantee to get down here, right? So, but I'm happy on missing that, right? Like, I don't care. If Ethereum comes up and gets the big move up and I don't have a reason to enter a long, like I said, maybe I find a local context in here to find a long position. But when it comes to the higher time frame volume profiles, the swing levels are down here, right? So there you go. But other than that, right, take a look at the 2-day. 2-day red dot confirmed money flow coming out looking very similar to Bitcoin. 3-day green dot red dot printing, very similar to Bitcoin. And again, on April 2nd, maybe we get that dump to the downside. This is if we get the big move down, this is the zone to look at. 786, previous value area low, and this is also the POC of our bear market range down here as well, right? So there's many reasons to be looking down here. And even if you look at this as like a larger volume profile perspective, right? If you're looking at your bear market range, your POC sits here. You're kind of just getting stuck inside your value area high. Like, where would you expect price to go? Somebody let me know in the chat. Once you get stuck under this value area high, where are you expecting price to go? Lose the value area high. POC might be next, right? Which is confluent with the context of this value area low. Hopefully we don't have to see it, right? Hopefully we could just I don't know. We were trying to pull some ranges on Ethereum here on the premium live stream. It's kind of hard, right? It's a wonky range. Maybe we hold this local value area low with these local bull divs and continue up and we break out. But for me, the bigger levels to the downside are sitting between 1644 and 1540. Other than that, I'd be waiting to see how this plays out. Personally, right, 5 hour may look for a bull div here, but I don't know if that's going to bring it all the way down there. So, yeah, we're just tracking in through this volume profile. Not the prettiest look for Ethereum, in my opinion. What's the weekly looking like? Maybe we get that weekly green dot, and maybe that's what gives you the bigger push up. But for me personally, there's not a lot of confluence down here as far as key levels go. Right? We have a tap daily that we're bouncing off of. But other than that, there's not a ton of key levels down here until we get lower. So that's kind of what I'd be looking at on Ethereum. Yeah. 3-day red dot printing. 6-day red dot confirmed. Didn't really give us much, right? We just kind of ate that all back up. So those are the next key levels on Ethereum. Key levels to the upside as far as if you get a bigger pump out of here. Let's pull from the recent high. Whoops. Let's pull from the pull from the recent high down to the low. Yeah, you gotta get out of this value area. But until then, get stuck under this POC. More downside is probably going to be likely, in my opinion. Let's see. Let's see. Shout out to Praytham says, stay in the game. It will reward you if you stay for a cycle. Yeah, I say this almost every single live stream, guys. If you are worried about the bear market being here and you think everything's going to zero, just understand, again, if you bought the top, right, and I don't know how many people did that. I assume a lot of people just in the grand scheme of crypto, a lot of retail buys the top like this. If this is the top of the bull market, which, again, you guys know where I stand on that, just understand this is the time to pay attention to Bitcoin, right? This is the time to double down on your research, not walk away and wait for the next bull market. Your time to make money, if this is the bear market, right, and we're going to go down for a massive drop down to, say 30K or whatever it is, right, massive 4-year cycle bear market again. If this is the case, which I am not calling for, at least as of right now, but if that is the case, just understand this is when the money is made, not up here. And if you made that mistake, try to make that connection where it's like, okay, hey, I got in as Bitcoin was hitting 100K. Maybe I was a little too late. Maybe I should have been paying attention last time it was coming down from the all-time high. This is the time to pay attention. If you want to learn how to trade and make money and not have to be a slave of the next massive move, and you want to make these day plays and these little scalp positions like we've been taking in the premium Discord, or we take all the time in the premium Discord, this is the time to learn how to trade, right? If you think it's the bear market. Bull market too, great time to learn how to trade. But just keep it in mind, right? You do not have to be a slave to the bull markets to make money in crypto. This is one of the things I love about trading, right? It was like, hey, I wait for my meal ticket, right? Wait for my ticket out of the rat race for the bull market. You don't have to do that if you can learn how the charts work and you learn how to manage your risk and you learn the art and the skill of trading. There is money to be made on every single up and down in the market, right? We made a killing on the short. I'm not in the long personally, but we had the long setup from the premium Discord. This is plenty of a move on Bitcoin to make some profit. A 3% move on a leverage trade is not too shabby. And if you can learn how to jump in, grab your bag, and jump out, you can make money consistently over time. And eventually, if you're in a bear market, you can make money, shorten that thing down to zero, and then you're going to have a bunch more money to load into the market, right, when you're looking to buy your spot bags, right? That's typically what I do. A lot of my profits I get from trading are going right into long-term spot bags, obviously, depending on where the market is. So there you go. Let's see. I got in at 67K and DCA down to 15K. Yo, shout out to Jay Cheer. Hey, you got in at 67K and DCA on the way down. I don't know exactly where your average buy-in would be. But yeah, listen, do you want to hold your spot bags all the way from the top? Obviously not. Right, you want to cut your losses at some point. But yeah, over time, right, you want to do the opposite of what everybody is thinking, right, or what everybody is feeling. When everybody is scared, it doesn't mean you have to buy, right, because like if everyone's scared right here, right, you might not want to buy. You probably have more down to go. But when everybody's saying it's all over, when everybody I would say when everyone says, oh my God, it's all over, bear market's here, that's the time to start paying attention. And then when everybody's saying crypto is dead, it's never coming back, right? Here it was like all the exchanges going down in regulation. People were saying, oh my God, it's never gonna end. It's it's all over. Like this isn't the same. It's not the same, right? This is different. We're going to 3K. This happens every single cycle, right? In this case, I do think the narrative here, if we start going to a massive bear market, right, I would start waiting for people to say, oh, no, the institutions are in. Now we got big money here. It's all messed up. It's never going to happen again. All the cycles are dead. I do think the cycles will change over time as the asset matures. But, I do think in this bear market, people are just going to be like, no, the institutions just ruined everything, man. Like, it's never going back up. The devil's here now, right? That's where, you're probably going to be looking to buy, right? And then, maybe now people are saying, oh, my God, it's over, it's over. If it is indeed over, now is the time to pay attention, right? Not here. It's the opposite of what everyone does, right? Everyone pays attention here. No one pays attention here. Everyone pays attention here. No one's paying attention here, right? And then just in general, no one's ever paying attention down here. Everyone's left. Right? Everyone pays attention here. Nobody pays attention here. Everyone pays attention here. Nobody pays attention here. But this is where the money's made, not up here, right? Unless you're catching the alt season. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. But again, it doesn't matter. This thing goes into a bear market forever. We're going to cash in, shorten that thing down to zero. You can bet your bottom dollar. Let's see. ETH to 3K, you say? Shout out to Giga Longbottom. I mean, hey. If we can get that push into our upper volume profile, we do have those key levels. Shout out to NWO said, hey, Frankie, God bless you. I don't even have to pay for Market Cypher when you're around. Shout out to NWO. I am the indicator. Everybody feels that ETH, or probably feels that ETH has bent us over and whipped our butts all the way to China. Yeah, shout out to Base. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen. ETH doesn't make a new all-time high, guys. I got scammed. That was a risk. That's a risk I'm willing to take. And listen. If ETH doesn't make a new all-time high and we go into a traditional 4-year bear cycle, I got scammed, right? Like, wow, ETH didn't make a new all-time high that cycle. We look back on that bull run as like, oh, that was the bull run where ETH didn't make a new all-time high. Man, remember everyone thought it was going to make a new all-time high, right? And maybe I'll be in that camp, maybe not. But we'll see. Like, I'll take that. You got me. Let's see. Let's see. Shout out to Fox3 said big FU candle coming for Bitcoin. Maybe April 2nd. Maybe we see it. Key levels down below still remain the same. ETH double top. Shout out to Game Armor, says like double top was obvious, like we're all in denial. I mean, yeah, that's easy. That's easy to say in hindsight, right? It's like it's like super easy to say in hindsight, right? Like even the 2021, it's like everyone's like, how did you not see the double top, right? They don't say that to me, but it's like, this was the most obvious double top ever, right? But like, people only really identify this as a double top. They go, well, maybe it was a double top, but everyone was calling for all-time highs here, right? Like, I remember this so vividly. Everyone thought this was a higher low. Everyone thought 30K was the bottom. Oh my God, higher low, 100K incoming. And then as soon as it dumped down into the bear market, everyone's like, it was a double top. So yeah, it's like, it's only obvious in hindsight, right? Because like, it's not until you get the dump down where you're like, oh, it was a double top. That's not really what I was looking at. I was looking more at the bearish divergences because, again, like double tops are great. But at the end of the day, right, like anything could be a double top, right? It's like, oh, my God, double top. What happens? You just come back up, right? Oh, my God, double top. If you go down to a low enough time frame, double top. Oh, my God. Or triple top. And then you just come back up, right? So context is more important than anything. And that's why I like to look at divergences over just like traditional double tops, right? Because it's like one touch, two touch down, right? But oftentimes you'll get one touch, two touch, and then you kind of coil up and snap out of it, right? But when you have the divergence, you actually have a reason to look for a push down, right? Because you're having price action coming up as momentum is leaving, and in this case, money flow leaving, which gives you the much bigger drop to the downside, a much more confirmed move to the downside. And the nice thing is you could actually see that printing as price is up here rather than waiting for the move down and being like, oh, that was a double top, right? You can actually, it's more of a confirmation for a move down rather than just like oh, we hit this level once, we hit it twice, now we're going to go down. That's just like a little bit more of a gamble in my opinion. I've tried to trade like that, like back when I first started learning how to trade, and I thought like patterns were the end all be all. I was like, this is so easy. I'll just wait for double tops and short. I'll wait for double bottoms and I'll long, and I'll make a bunch of money. And if you've been trading for a significant amount of time, you'll realize it's not that simple. Which is why I like to stick to stuff like divergences, like actual discrepancies in the market that give you high probability moves. But yeah, I mean, like you could even call this a potential double top. But even so, right, you really did have the bearish divergences, the liquidity sweep, very similar to this, right? We actually pulled the bars pattern on Bitcoin here at the 2021 top, right? And we talked about how, hey, like this fractal looks very, very similar to the fractal that we had up there, right? Obviously was much smaller, right? But looks very similar to this, right? And was it a double top? Not in my opinion, right? Like a double top is just a way to describe it. Double top is just a way to describe price action. It's not the reason why price action moves, right? It's not the reason for the price action. It is a way to describe it, right? So, but you can see here, this fractal is like very, 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 very similar, right? You get the first top, you come on down, you get the second top, you get the liquidity sweep and the bearish divergences before breaking structure to the downside. And this actually played out very, so you even got like you even like flagged out here. And again, not the reason we dumped, but you could just kind of use that to describe it, right? We kind of flagged out here before the next drop down. And it did play out very, very similarly, right? But yeah, like double tops is more of like something you look at in hindsight. But other than that, like I just don't know. It's like there's no way to confirm that it's a double top until it rejects, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking at. We took a look at Ethereum. Let's take a look at Solonzo. Quick look at Solonzo. Let me come on over to our other chart here. Bada boom, bada bing. So yeah, let me just check it on chat real quick. Thank you for the lesson. Shout out to Game Armor. No problemo, bro. No problemo. That's what we're here for. Free education. So you guys can make some free money trading Bitcoin where the price goes up or down. Let's see. Sui, Desync, XRP. So yeah, let's take a look at, let's start off with Solana, and then we'll take a look at, come on, give me that brush. Come on. There we go. All right, so on Solana, yeah, we're losing our value area low here, guys. I would say this. Reclaim of this value area low is absolutely needed. Even if you do get it, though, you got to be careful of this anchored VWAP. This anchored VWAP is coming in at about $130 right now. If you do get back above the value area low, you got to flip that anchored VWAP. This is probably going to trend down over time. You want to make sure that you're not turning that into resistance. If you do, I think that 786 is likely, and that's if you flip the value area low to support. In simple terms, once we lose this golden pocket, 786 daily, similar to the Bitcoin situation, right? Once you lose that golden pocket, what are we going to be looking at for the next likely place for price to go? 786 is going to be likely. You have the confluence of the daily down there. This will be the next key level of support on Solana. This is sitting between 119.70 and 118.11. If you don't hold that, I'll be honest, probably getting the bigger drop to the downside towards our larger volume profile with the value area high sitting at 107.47 down to the POC at about $102, 101.89. But right now, like your goal here is to get back above, and I'm going to take a look at the local profile as well. But in the grand scheme of things, like this is pulled from the low all the way to the high. Right? So we've already come down. We tried to hold the golden pocket. If you can't reclaim that golden pocket / more importantly, the value area low at $126, probably going to get the bigger move down towards that 786. You'll lose that 786 daily. I'm looking down towards about 107K at that value area high. Simply put, right? And then if you do get above the value area low, this anchored VWAP, again, this is pulled from the low of the, this is pulled from the low, right? This low here at $112, right? So that was a key level to stay on top of in order to continue the move up. Once you lose it, you get the bigger drop down. So you got to be careful that you're not just going to come up and flip that to resistance before another drop to the downside, especially if as you're approaching, right, let's say we come up to there right now, right, like for example, right, let's just say this kind of wiggles around, right, you push up into that anchored VWAP, what is the confluence there? Let's pull your Fibonacci retracement from this swing high or this lower high to the lower low. The 786 golden pocket, that anchored VWAP is probably going to fly right through there. This might be a good area, right? Depending on, the context that you're looking at, right? This could be key resistance because if you're looking for a lower high and a lower low to come in, targeting that 786, this might be the area to do it at. So watch out for that anchored VWAP and your local Fibonacci retracement confluence. Now, again, this is going to change. This is going to change based on, how low we go. If we go lower first, that fib is obviously going to move, right? If we come down to the 786 first and we get a bounce, right, you would obviously pull the 786 golden pocket down to wherever you wick to, which might put the golden pocket a little more confluent with the value area low. But just, simply speaking here, key level of resistance right now, 100% value area low. Got to get above that. Obviously golden pocket as well, but get above the value area low, look for that push up, but until you flip that anchored VWAP, I'd be careful. And then if we don't reclaim it, we lose the golden pocket now, I'd look for the drop down first. So let me I want to take a look at the local range here as well. Let me just grab all this TA real quick, put it into a folder. Boom. And then let me take a look at this. Let's take a look at this local range here real quick. See if we can get any kind of context here. Boom. Actually, might want to pull this. So yeah, you could look at this as your local levels. However, I wouldn't be as interested in trading this, at least on altcoins. But similar to Bitcoin, right? You come down to the value area low of your 4-hour range, I would kind of call this. I would look at this as in the context of like the 4-hour time frame. Question is, do you want to pull it? Let me see if I pull it from here. Do you get you front ran that value area low. Yeah, I don't know. Red dot looking to print here on the 4-hour. I'd probably be inclined to look at this profile. And then pull your fib. Whoops. Right, I'm going to take this golden pocket off the chart. We'll assume that it's already tapped, right? Well, it is already tapped, but that kind of puts your local support at the 786 value area low. Obviously, also have the daily down there as well, right? Right, daily 786. Value area low. So you can look at this as like two different levels, right? You could either look at the value area low 786, or you can look at it as a full, a full zone. This is a little bit of a larger zone, or you could look at this. You can look at this kind of separately, right? You can look at the value area low with the 786, and then you can kind of look at this daily alone, right? But this would be the local range I'd look at on Solana. But again, you lose that, at this point locally. If you get another drop down, I would look for potential 4-hour bullish divergences down there for a bounce back into your range. But again, if you start losing that 786, probably going to get the bigger drop down to that larger level at around $107, right? Solana's at 107K, guys. But yeah, that's kind of what I would look at. This zone does sit, the first level, value area low 786 sits at about 122.16 to 119.51, and then the daily level does sit at about $118, right? And again, whether you want to look at that as a whole zone or if you want to look at it separately, like, hey, if we deviate, I don't know. Because even if you deviate below this value area, I would hope that you kind of deviate into that 786. So that might be something to watch, honestly, within the local context of things, right? Shoot down in here, key support, lose it, big move down, hold it, maybe get reclaim of the range and fill the range in full. But yeah, that's what I'd be looking for Solana. I'm not really interested in scalps like this on the alts as of right now. So I would kind of stick to the macro levels, right? Lose the golden pocket, come down here. Maybe you get a bounce, lose this, look for the bigger drop down. But that 4-hour bull div might be nice if you can get it into that 786. Mark my words. 4-hour bull div into that 786 daily might be a nice bounce if you can get the confirmation. So there we go. Shout out to Tales of Mystery. Thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you very much. He said, Frankie the Oracle, you're improving my trading. Yo, let's go. Shout out to Tales of Mystery. Hey, bro, that's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. That's why we do this every single weekday at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is for messages like that. Thank you for the super chat, Tales. We appreciate you, bro, and I'm happy to hear that you're making progress on your trading journey. Let's see. H-bar. We can take a look at H-bar. Let's see here. Do you think ICP could hit $45 to $50? That's probably going to depend. Let's take a quick look at I'm going to take a look at XRP first, and then we'll take a look at ICP, and we'll take a look at yeah, shout out to Darren. Said Frankie freestyle again tonight. Shout out to Darren. Yeah, I did not get the alt list. I've been freestyling it a lot lately. Let me see. I'm sure Rob dropped the alt list, and I just didn't see it. But yeah, I'll freestyle. I'll freestyle it for now. But let's see. Yo, Golden in the chat. Shout out to Golden. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He said, if we get 420 likes, I'll drop 50 memberships. It costs you nothing to do it, and it helps the channel. So smash that like button and break YouTube. Let's break YouTube. Shout out to Golden. Let's go, baby. Drop that golden emoji in the chat if you want some free memberships from our boy Golden, and smash that like button. 420 likes. Let's go. Let's see if we can start another beautiful golden waterfall here on the live stream. Let's go. Good to see you in here, Golden. Hope you're doing well, bro. I'm sure you're coming to us from live from the villa in Italy, or maybe from your solid gold private jet. Shout out to Golden. But let's see. Frankie, USDT is the biggest Oracle competitor to Link. Shout out to Tony Roaz. Let's go, baby. Golden always flexing. Shout out to World War. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Golden is, yeah. Golden might be Elon Musk. We don't know this. I'm just kidding. I can confirm he's not Elon Musk. Okay, so let's take a look. I'll take a quick look at XRP, and then we'll jump into the chat and grab a look at some other stuff as well. Let's take a quick look at XRP here. Now, as you guys know, XRP key levels, as you know, I keep saying yesterday. On Friday, as we were looking at, funny enough, actually, on the live stream, what were we looking at, guys, right? Like, I'll even come into bar replay mode to kind of show you guys how we do this, right? It might have partially be because of our crystal ball, but it really has mostly to do with our, with the TA, right? Actually, I got to come back a little bit more here. So what were we looking at here? I believe it was on Friday's live stream as we were pushing into our value area low of our range, right? When we look at this from an overall context, we rejected the value area high, right? This is exactly what we looked at on the live stream. Value area high. If we get to the POC, once you lose the POC, you're going to be looking for the full fill of the range down to the value area low. Very similar to Bitcoin, except XRP actually hit its value area high / golden pocket confluence. But, we talked about how we were hitting some support here. But it's not worth taking the long, in my opinion, because we have this big key level down below, which is the value area low. And when you're anticipating your volume profile to go from the value area high to the POC, and then eventually waiting for the full fill of the range to the value area low, why not just wait for that big level to get hit before looking for the long position, right? What happens? We get the push down to the golden pocket, and we wind up getting the bounce from that level. And on Friday night's live stream, I believe, I could check by the time here because I don't want to say we were looking at this if we weren't, but I remember we were. But just to confirm this, right? Friday on the live stream, right? 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right about here. We looked for a push up into some local key levels of resistance, which had a probability of giving us a lower high and a lower low, right? Why do we look for the lower highs and the lower lows, guys? Well, it has to do with the higher time frames. The 2-day red dot is now printing, right? Which is pretty ugly. And this is a blood diamond. Right? 2-day blood diamond, which wound up confirming on Bitcoin. But we saw this on Ethereum, I believe, first. Right? We saw the 2-day blood diamond on, did I say Ethereum? XRP. Money flow coming to the downside, blood diamond printing, red dot on the 2-day. So we look for a potential continuation down. And if we are going to retrace, oh, I'm in bar replay mode. That's why it's printing. So it was confirmed now. But what do you look at, guys? Where's the high probability area to put a rejection in, a lower high and a lower low? You're going to be looking at your golden pocket 786 retracement. We also had this tapped weekly naked point of control. What happens? We come up, we tap that exact Fibonacci retracement, and look at the tap on the 786. You reject the golden pocket, wick up to that 786, tap it to the dollar before breaking structure to the downside, bringing us down to the lower levels, daily naked point of control, right? And we'll go ahead and play this forward because we wound up losing the range. Come on. I'll just play that through in full. I'll just turn it off, actually. So we came up, rejected that exact Fibonacci retracement. We get the lower low on price. You deviate below the range. You tried to get back in, rejected again. And, where are we getting our next level of support? I'm going to get rid of this blue box because this is already played out. We tapped it, got the bounce, and we broke through it, right? So we're going to take that off the chart. We can get rid of this naked point of control because it's now tapped. Might be flipping that to resistance, by the way. Take that golden pocket off the chart. And what do we look for? Actually, keep that on, right? Once you lose the golden pocket, where are you going to be looking for price to go next? The 786 Fibonacci retracement. Frankie, where's the 786 sitting? You can't really see it here, but it's right there, right? Brings us right down to the value area high of that previous range. You have the 786 and the value area high, and where do you get your next bounce from? Right from the 786, right? You got your first bounce from the golden pocket. You lose it. You try to get back above. Once you lose that golden pocket, 786 gives you the next bounce. If we lose this 786, guys, mark my words, right? This 786 is not only a 786, but the start of the low volume gap that we looked at on the live stream on Friday. Huge low volume gap here. If we get accepted into this low volume gap, could cause a fast drop to the downside. Mark, somebody clip this. I am not guaranteeing that this happens, but I will, if you want to know how we are able to see what price is going to do before the news comes out. This is how we do it. If there is bearish news and everything dumps and XRP rips through this zone, just understand we are anticipating, if we get accepted into this low volume gap, we would anticipate a very fast move to the downside, targeting our previous, I might have called this a value area high. This is the low volume gap. This value area high, golden pocket confluence. Technically, the value area high is down here, right? But this low volume gap leads you right into your next golden pocket, a larger golden pocket in confluence with your value area high. So if we get some bearish news, just understand it's going to be, people are like, oh my God, look at that dump. That news was horrible for XRP. Oh my God. But this is really happening because of the low volume gap. Fast move up oftentimes leads to fast moves down. It's the same thing we looked at on Bitcoin before we got the fast drop down to 80 to 78K, right? Or 76K, right? We expected this to be a fast drop to the downside. Why? Because we had a low volume gap below us and a lot of liquidity, right? It's not going to look like that now because we've created new volume down here, right? So we're going to see high volume nodes. But at the time, while we were up here, we said, hey, break into the low volume gap below this range. We're probably going to get a fast move down. And regardless of the news, regardless of the fundamentals, that is what we look for. That is what we get. It's the same thing on XRP. Get into this low volume gap, look for the fast move into the golden pocket 786. This zone is sitting between 152 and 133. So that's what I'm looking at on XRP. We saw the rejection of our local fib and the pushback down into the 786, and we're currently trying to get a bounce from there. If this is not the low and we get accepted in here, dangerous place for XRP to be. Taking a look at the higher time frames. 4-day red dot confirmed, 5-day no green dot, 6-day instant VWAP flop. We got the green dot and the instant red dot. This is not confirmed, but the red dot is printing. It's also a 6-day blood diamond. This is a pretty bearish sign, right? Now here we had a little bit of a fake out. 6-day blood diamond prints, you get a little bit of a continuation down, and I guess, it was an 11% dump, so it was calling for more downside. You did get it. But this is after a big move up, right? We had a massive pump of 600 and something percent, and now we're getting the blood diamond. If there's anything to push us through that low volume gap, this 5-day blood diamond is not what you want to see, right? No weekly red dot. But again, this has to confirm still. This is only printing. We have about an hour left to confirm this 6-day blood diamond. If you look at what this has done in the past, right? You come up into your range, you bing bong around, blood diamond prints on the 6-day, you lose your range, massive drop to the downside. 6-day blood diamond, massive drop down. 6-day blood diamond, little bit of a push down. This one was not as aggressive. They're not going to be 100% signals, right? But I don't know. 6-day blood diamond, money flow coming out, even your 3-day money flow coming out, and your 2-day looking pretty gross here with that confirmed blood diamond as well. Right? We expect to move down over the weekend based off the blood diamond and the red dot. Same thing on Bitcoin, and we get it. We are now testing the key levels of support. We do not want to break into that low volume gap, or we are likely to see a 150 to 134, 133 XRP. Is it all over for XRP if that happens? I wouldn't say so, right? This is a golden pocket retracement of pretty much, I would call it like this entire impulsive move down or move up. but I am pulling it from this low here. So, yeah, you could potentially get bounces there. Hopefully, if we get that move down, if Bitcoin goes down to $72,000 to $70,000 and XRP comes all the way back down here, we're hoping that we start to put in higher lows to get things going back to the upside. If not, we could get accepted into this range, and we could target the 786 at $1, lose the 786, POC at 83 cents, and so on and so forth. Value area low at 69 cents. I'm not saying that XRP is about to go to 69 cents. I'm saying we have a volume profile down here that is likely to guide us on where price is going to go next if we lose that golden pocket. 786 would be likely at about $1. So there we go. Shout out to Golden. Thank you for the super chat. Said, hey, boss, tomorrow is April Fool's Day, so how is the market going to fool us? Shout out to Golden. Oh, God, are we about to get the April Fool's fake out? Yikes. I don't know. On XRP, let's see. On XRP, I would say the fake out, we would hope, right? We would hope the fake out is, hopefully we get a high time frame fake out, right? This money flow comes back into the green. Little wick down, massive move up, right? I would hope that's the case. I don't know if that's what we're setting up for, though. On Bitcoin, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I would say the fake out here in the case of Bitcoin would be, nah, you're not going to hold these lows. We're going lower. I would say that if we get the fake out. But, yeah, shout out to Golden. We'll see. We'll see. Probably sit out on trading tomorrow, guys. The market makers like to scam you, especially on April Fool's Day. Let's see. Shout out to Big Boy. Says, sorry, XRP holders. It's time to short that bad boy to the ground. I mean, hey, I'll say this. I do think there is room to come down in a healthy way, right? Just remember, we had a massive move up, right? A significant retracement could bring you down. I mean, even if we just look at the impulsive move from the high to the low, right? Like looking at a high enough time frame here, right? Could do something like that. These would be key levels to look at. And to be honest, right, if you just look at this from like a fresh kind of, maybe not. Yeah, man. It's just so much volume down here. You can't get that value area. Yeah, you'd have to look at it like that probably, even then. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I do not like that 6-day blood diamond. I will tell you that. 6-day blood diamond, definitely not looking good. Also, money flow in the high time frames, right? Like, we hope that this is a fake out on the 2-day to come back into a massive green wave for new all-time highs, whether we get a big pullback first or not. But just understand, there's a lot of gap down here. Lots and lots of gap. Could cause quick moves down. But you would hope that it's just a fake out to continue higher. But money flow would not be calling for that. On the higher time frames for XRP, this is not my opinion. This is just what the charts are saying. With money flow on that 2-day, guys, I would say, what are we anticipating? Lackluster retracements up, lower highs, lower lows. Lackluster retracement up, lower high, lower low. And then, again, once you start cracking into that gap, could get exciting. To the downside, that is. So, yeah, that's what I'd be looking at on XRP. Let's see. It's the AMC of crypto. Shout out to Johnny Tequila. It's almost a meme at this point, to be honest. Will says BTC going lower. Yeah, it's I would say the same thing on the high time frames for Bitcoin, right? 2-day money flow would make you anticipate lackluster retracements for lower highs and lower lows, potentially targeting. Again, we have those key levels. Remember, it's an if this then that statement. But you start breaking down in a big way. Trying to front run what these bigger moves are going to do. They may take time, right? But lackluster retracement into your golden pocket 786, lower low. If we don't hold the levels that we have here, could be going for the deeper cut. So there you go. And if we pull up the VPVR here real quick, I mean, look at the volume gap, right? Bringing us all the way down. Where's that next high volume node, guys? High volume, high volume. Pretty big gap here, right? Doesn't mean you have to nuke through it in 1 second, but for the most part, most of your support and resistance is up here, and most of your support is down here. Not impossible to see something like that, right? And still see all-time highs. Doesn't guarantee you see all-time highs, but definitely still open to downside here on the higher time frames. For the big moves up, if we want to see a bigger retracement into this range up here towards 95K, 96, 97K, you really got to start holding these local levels. If you don't, the bigger drop down is being shouted for on those higher time frames as far as money flow goes. Let's see. Shout out to Dean. Yeah, too many people are saying 70K. Will it really play out like that? Shout out to Dean. We literally actually just talked about that on how when a lot of people look at one thing to happen, right, usually the more unlikely case or the less anticipated case is the one that plays out. So, like, yeah, once everyone's hoping for something, you know, maybe that's the fake out. Maybe the 2-day looks like garbage, the higher time frame money flow looks like garbage, and we just send it off. But I'll be honest, guys, like, we need the rate cuts. I really think that this is going to be a big thing that we have to wait for. If we don't get the rate cuts, it's going to be hard for the risk-on assets to run. That's just how it is, right? But yeah, let's continue on here and take a look at some more altcoins real quick. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Blockchain Domain. Thank you for the super chat. Said if we get 420 likes, I will what were we talking about again? Shout out to Blockchain Domain. Get us 420 likes, baby. Let's go. Shout out to Blockchain Domain. I don't know what we were talking about, bro. Shout out to we'll do honorary gifted membership. Shout out to Blockchain Domain. CT, thank you for the super chat. Said, can we talk about BSV? I believe it will melt faces. Shout out to CT. Yeah, we can try to take a look at BSV, and then we'll jump into a couple other altcoins. ICP. Yeah, I want to take a look at ICP too. Let's take a quick look at BSV real quick. I don't know if we've ever looked at BSV. Let's take a look here. Oops. BSV. This has a little more price history. Yeah, I guess we'll just take a look at... Ah, man. I guess we'll just take a look at this one. All right, so let's see. Excuse me. Weekly. Yeah, man, like green dot printed on the weekly and just didn't give you anything. Didn't give you anything. Money flow in the red. Excuse me. Money flow crossover into the red on the weekly. This is a bad sign, right? Like this is just generally, what are you going to be anticipating here with the money flow coming out on the weekly? You have to anticipate lower highs and lower lows. This is just simply how it works, right? Now, when the money flow indicates a longer term trend. It's as simple as that, right? And that's why on Bitcoin, we are being careful and have been careful for lackluster retracements. When we got this 2-day green dot, we looked for the move up, right? But the time to look for the move up is down here when everybody is screaming bear market. Right? And then that 2-day green dot prints, you're like, hey, maybe we can get a little retracement. There's your first golden pocket 786 retracement. And because of your money flow coming out, indicating the trend is likely to continue down, you have to look for the lower highs and the lower lows. Right? That's the bearish case. The high time frames still don't look that great, to be quite honest. Not only on the altcoins, but also Bitcoin. Right? Now, would it be nice to just hold the low here and then break up for the bigger retracement? Yes. But even if you get the bigger retracement into, $91,000, you still have to be careful of those lower highs and lower lows based off money flow. It's not until the higher time frame money flow crosses into the green that we can really start anticipating the big moves up. When you want new all-time highs, guys, we need the money flow to look like this. Big red wave crossing into the green. If money flow looked like this, right, I'll just even flip this real quick, right? We'll turn the green money flow red, and we'll turn the red money flow. This is what you want to see for a massive move up. If we were retracing into this golden pocket 786, right, that we have here, right, if we were retracing into this fib level, right, for a potential higher low and a continuation up, this is what you would want Market Cipher B to look like. This is not what it looks like. I inverted the colors and the chart, right? You would want to see a massive red wave into a green wave. That would indicate that the trend is more likely to continue to the upside with higher highs, right? Then I would be pretty confident likely that this would be the higher low for a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? That's what you want your money flow to look like for a big move up. But again, I inverted this. We are seeing the opposite, right? If this were the case, we would definitely be like, hey, this is a really nice look for a higher low and a continuation up, right? But that's not what we have. We literally have the opposite. Money flow coming out. So what do we look for? Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, right? I hate to be that guy, but that's what the charts are saying, right? Hopefully we could just fake out those local levels. And again, maybe this isn't, if we are, it doesn't guarantee it, right? If this is the lower high, right? Or if this isn't the lower high and we hold this low here and we break out, we could look for those bigger retracement levels. But that's why we take shots at the shorts up here, right? Because we don't know. This might just be a little pullback or it might be the lower high, right? And that's part of the reason why I was so upset closing my full position here by accident. Because if it is the lower high for the lower low, I would have liked to hold that short for much lower. But it's okay. We won the trade. Can't complain about that, unfortunately. But coming back to BSV, very simply put, weekly money flow crossover into the red. At this point, right, like you're putting in some potential weekly bull divs, but like even this weekly bull div did not do anything for you. Lower lows, higher lows. That's like a pretty nice signal for a big move up. Even if it's a retracement, you would look for a significant retracement off a weekly bull div. Didn't really give you much, right? And now you have money flow continuing into the red. Another potential bullish divergence looking to form. Until that weekly money flow comes back into the green, you got to anticipate lackluster retracements, lower highs and lower lows. So, yeah, if you pull from, let's pull the daily up. You know, your full Fibonacci retracement here. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I would say pull from the high to the low. That's pretty far away, so I'll give you more tangible levels here. Yeah, this would be a, let me see something here. Yeah, I don't really love this range, to be quite honest, but could look at this potentially. So I'll give you some of these local levels. This is what I would look for on BSV, right? Value area low, which you're kind of losing right now. Value area low, POC, value area high. So, yeah, I mean, one would hope that, you know, high time frame bullish divergences like you have here would have given you a bounce at the value area low, but it's just not giving you a lot of chutzpah. We need more chutzpah. We need more oomph. We need more oomph. Somebody send some oomph on this thing. But, yeah, I mean, listen, you got to reclaim this value area low, and even then, if you do get the retracement to the upside, I'd be careful around this POC because this is like kind of this would be like one level that I'd be cautious of a lower high and a lower low. And I don't even know if you're going to get all the way back up there. But if you did, POC, Golden Pocket, 786 Confluence, this would be big resistance to get above. Let's pull the anchored VWAP from the top. Yeah, anchored VWAP in there as well. So if you do get a bigger retracement or you do get a bounce to come in here, I'd be very cautious around this zone here, sitting between 57.61 and 49 bucks. So that's kind of what I would look at locally. You lose this value area low in a bigger way. Not much to look at below, to be quite honest. Right? It's like you can't really look left too much. Yeah, you're losing your 786. I don't really love that. I mean, I've already gotten a significant move down. So I just personally, based off my rules that I trade by, I cannot short this. It's at support. We've already gotten a move down, but it doesn't mean you can't continue. Really hard to find these next key levels to the downside. And the reason for that is just because you can't look left, right? We could look at this daily level. Maybe it's a weekly level. Yeah, I mean, you do have a weekly down here. Front ran slightly. That's an MPOC. Let's make that a horizontal. So, yeah, you have a weekly down here, but other than that, I mean, it's probably a daily as well. Like, other than this, sitting at $24, you don't really have much down here, at least on this chart, right? Daily. Is that tapped? Is that tapped? No. So you also have a daily there as well, right? So the only thing I can really see below is, honestly, that weekly and that daily. And then maybe we have some, whoops. Yeah, that's really all I could give you to the downside. $24. You would hope to hold that level. It's the only structural support that I really see that has not been tapped yet. Like, even on the daily here. Yeah, I mean, you do have this daily level, potentially. And then, I'll just pull these horizontal levels, because that's really all you got down there. So, I would watch 29.18. You're pretty close to that level right now. So, 29.33 to 20. 818, and then your next level would be all the way down here. This is really all I can see on the chart, to be honest, for support. But to the upside, it's a little bit more clear. Get above that value area low. If you get a bigger retracement, I'd be very careful around here. Once you flip that 786, I'd look for the value area high. Value area high 78.30, POC $49, and then the value area low is at 32.69. So yeah, there you go. That's what I'd be looking at for BSV. Let's see. Chutzpah, yo, shout out to Broby1 Kenobi. Let's go, baby, let's go. Let's see, ICP. I'm nervous. I'm all in on ICP. Shout out to Jimmy. Oh, man, all in. All in. Why all in? Why all in? Let's see. Let's take a look at ICP. We actually haven't looked at ICP in quite some time. Let me take a look at our actual public ICP chart here. So, yeah, what do we see on ICP? We actually have not looked at this in quite some time. And you can see that because we had key levels of support. All these blue boxes were support on the way down and have now been lost, right? So we have this. Yeah, this golden pocket value area low. We came down. We got the bounce, and then we lost it, right? So we can get that off the chart. Whoops. Get rid of here. Whoops. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. And then this golden pocket is... Yeah, this has been lost as well. That is not great, right? You've lost pretty much all your key Fibonacci levels on the higher time frames. That's not beautiful. And here you are. I mean, look at this. You're back inside your lower range, right? When you are inside of a range and you lose that volume profile and you get imbalanced to the downside, where are you expecting price to go next? You simply look for the next area of balance. Lose this volume profile, you expect price to get gravitated to your value area high of your previous range. Balance, balance. Lose this, come here. We got the drop down. We got the bounce back up to our value area low. We kind of bing-bonged around here, created a new range, right? That's now, still valid, obviously. We got stuck back into that range, went back to the POC, back to the low. We lost that range. Where do you look to go if you get imbalance out of this volume profile? You look to come into your previous area of balance. We break below the value area high. We just bearishly retested it here. So very clearly, this is the range that we are in. POC sitting at $4.04. Value area low sitting at $3.47. This doesn't guarantee that we have to fill the whole range. It's kind of similar to Ethereum, right? We have within the larger range, if you can't get back above this value area high, the POC is the next likely place for price to go, simply put. Now, you can look at some other levels, but these would be the more macro levels in my opinion. So until we start seeing this higher time frame money flow start to shape up, right? We take a look at the weekly time frame, weekly money flow in the red, lower high, lower low. As long as this weekly money flow stays in the red, we can look for lower highs and lower lows, right? So we wiggle our way down to the POC, lower high, lower low. These are the big targets on the higher time frames. $4.06 all the way down to, or $4.04 all the way down to $3.47. Those are the next key levels within your larger profile. Are we getting accepted in here? Not great. We already barely retested, right? So if you want this thing to go up, you got to get out of here fast, right? Now, if I separate this a little bit, let me get rid of some of these other levels. Let me boom, 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 boom. Take that out. I will go ahead and put this in a folder. Boom. I'll grab all this. Put it in a folder. Bada boom. Grab this. Drag it in here. Hide that. And then I'll grab the rest of this, put it in a different folder. So the only other levels that I could really look at here, if you do not want this thing to fill the whole volume profile to the low, would be this profile right here. Drag this over to the right. POC, value area high. Yeah, so this is the local range that we're kind of messing around in right now. Lose the value area high, POC, low, bounce off the low, POC, high, deviation, back in, POC, value area low. So these are the local levels that I would look at for ICP, personally. Value area low sitting here at 488, POC sitting at 520, and then the value area high sitting at $6.09. Come down here. Again, I'm not really interested in altcoins right now, personally, but this is just kind of what I would look for the next move. Other than that, I mean, Yeah, you put the 4-hour bull div in here at the POC, but if you lose that POC, I'd be looking down at the value area low at 489. But higher time frame, I mean, this is just your local range. Like, once you start losing this, like, there's really nothing else to bounce on. I'd be looking for the bigger key levels at that point, right? Because you've gotten accepted into your lower range. You're losing the POC, right? Or zoom out here, you're not losing the POC, but you're losing the value area low, right? You come in, reject the value area high, start to lose this value area low. That's where you can look for the drop down to the POC. So really, like, the only other big level I'd look at is this value area low. So lose 489, probably looking down towards about $4.04 to the back row POC. But, you know, not looking at the local levels, I would simply be looking at the larger levels, right? Like, kind of similar to Ethereum, right? Like, we're just, like, back inside our lower range, our bear market accumulation range. Can't break out of here. Going to be looking down here, simply put. Now, your money flow on the 12-hour doesn't look that bad, right? You came into the green. You're trying to come back into the green now with a green dot. So your hope here is that your 16-hour green dot and your 12-hour green dots, which are incoming on ICP, with your 1-hour money flow, hopefully crossing into the green, that's your hope to get out of this mess, right? If you don't start ripping out of here on that 12, 16-hour green dot with the 1-hour money flow crossover into the green, I'd be very cautious. You are now have already gotten to drop in and the bearish retest into this lower range. Definitely at risk, at least at risk, of coming back to the POC or value area low. That's what I would look at. So there you go. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Game Armor said, only invest in Bitcoin and unopened Lego sets. I heard unopened Lego sets are the play. I'm not going to lie. If you're not in crypto, get into unopened Lego sets. Let's see. All right, so let's continue on here. That's ICP. Let's take a quick look at Link as we come to the wrap up the live stream here. So yeah, Chainlink still within our key levels here, right? Within our larger profile, we deviated below the low, back in. Retrace up towards that POC. We got above the POC, and we are where we reject from, right? This is the golden pocket, right? If I grab this actual pull so we can see it, from the high to the low, golden pocket, 786 retracement. This is the zone where you look for the rejection. We come into the golden pocket. You even got some nice bearish divergences into that before the drop to the downside into the value area low. So, you know, you really want to hold this level. Lose this key level. I would say 1284. Unless we deviate below this range with bullish confirmations to reclaim and get the bigger move up, lose this value area low, opens up the door to come back down to where? The same place we came last time we lost it, which is the value area high at 1182. And then very similar to ICP, if you get cracked into this value area and you cannot get above, you would look down towards the POC and the value area low, right? So we've already come down on a lot of these altcoins to retest the previous value area highs. Hopefully we don't have to get back in there. We get accepted back into this range, guys. Not a great sign. Key level here. We bounced off it perfectly back here in earlier March. Right? 1182. We lose that level. That is what opens up the door to lower prices on Chainlink, in my opinion. Right? But until then, we are inside our upper range. So you're praying that you could hold above this value area high. And we did get the same kind of similar confirmations as we did on Bitcoin. Right? It's almost the same exact situation as Bitcoin, except for the lower range. Right? We come down to the value area low. You get the nice little 4-hour bull div. You get a nice little bounce of some kind, right? So if we are able to stay above here, right, the next target would be the POC. Flip the POC. I would now take this golden pocket off the chart just because it has been tapped, right? So I would take this off the chart and I would focus a little bit more on the new fib, right? Let me actually just get this whole thing off. So some local levels, if you do continue up here, golden pocket, I really wish that was confluent with our POC, which it's not. So yeah, these are some local levels I would look at on Chainlink if you do continue up, right? So if you stay inside the range, continue to move up, POC, flip the POC, I'd look to come into this golden pocket 786, which is sitting at about 1536 to 1484, right? Flip that 786, you can look for the bigger move up to the value area high. But I'd be careful here, guys. I'd be careful. Daily green dot looking to print. You're hoping that's it. You're hoping that daily green dot, hopefully you stay above here, that daily green dot prints, you get the bigger retracement. But that's what I would look for, right? 12-hour green dot, same thing, right? 12-hour green dot and the 16-hour green dot are looking to print. That's your sign to look for today or tonight. Money flow on the 1 hour and the 45-minute. We want to see these cross into the green with the higher time frame green dots for the continuation up. If we don't get that, right, lose this range, I'm looking down lower, right? 1182. If we get it, we push up. I'm looking for something like this. Break the 786, continue up. If not, you got to be careful of those lower highs. So those are the key levels I would look at for Chainlink. And yeah, I just want Market Cipher to clean up here. Market Cipher, just get cleaner. I really want the price action to get cleaner. It's not Market Cipher's fault. It's the price action's fault. But yeah, the smoother the price action, the cleaner the, I don't know, 3-hour money flow. You definitely got to be careful of the lower highs and the lower lows. For sure. I don't love this money flow. You got the bull divs, but you really want money flow to come up. Right? All bull divs are not created equal. If you get a bullish divergence at a value area low or even below a value area low, here you kind of got it pushing into the level. But even if you get it like below the volume profile, you could look for a push up and potentially capitalize on a scalp, but you have to, like, this bullish divergence on the 3-hour is different. That because we have money flow coming out. If money flow was crossing into the green, it would be, again, very similar to what I covered before. It'd be much better for a continuation to the upside in a bigger way. But we have money flow coming out, right? So lower highs and lower lows could be likely. So I would say be careful. A little bit of a sticky situation, but those are 100% the key levels I would be looking at on Chainlink. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Frankie, can we check out DRB? I was thinking it's gonna go down. Shout out to Base Bailey. We're actually running out of time, so I'm not gonna have time to look at DRB tonight. Maybe we'll take a look at it tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, listen, if Ethereum's gonna wind up going, if Bitcoin's going down, Ethereum's going down. If Ethereum's going down, everything else is likely to follow. But we gave the key levels. We took a look at Ethereum. We took a look at Bitcoin. We took a look at Solana, XRP, BSV, ICP. So you guys have all the key levels to look at now, but let's just do one more check-in on Bitcoin here real quick. We'll see what we got. Yeah, let's see. Come to the lower time frame. So yeah, I would be watching. I mean, we're just at that value area low, guys. We got to hold this level. Lose the golden pocket. I'm looking down towards 79 to 78. 78.4 down to our daily, our daily / 786 Fibonacci retracement, right? Like, we hope. Same thing on Bitcoin, right? If we get that 16-hour green dot, which is printing, if we get that to confirm in 24 minutes with our 12-hour green dot, 1-hour money flow crossover into the green. Look at the 1 hour. The 1 hour's trying. The VWAP's coming up. The money flow's coming up. If we get those high time frame, that market cipher B 1/16th on the 12 and 16 hour with the 1 hour and 45-minute money flow, that's what we need to continue up. Right? Get above that POC, push higher. If we get that, we're going to be looking for scalp shorts in the premium Discord. And, shout out to anybody in the premium that caught the long setup that we have down here. That will continue to pay out for them. But for me personally, I did not catch that position over the weekend. So I will simply wait for the next significant short setups that we have at some of the local levels, or potentially look for longs on higher lows on the way up. But we'll see what happens, guys. If we lose that value area low, look down here. This is the next major key level to look at for longs, in my opinion. And then once we start losing that level, oh, man. We'll see with that 1 hour money. We need this 1 hour money flow crossover for the continuation up. So that's the thing to watch right now. And if we don't get it or it doesn't play out, it gives us some kind of like a wonky, kind of lame play out where it just kind of pushes up a little bit, lose that value area low. Ugh. But for me personally, I'm not holding any trades right now, guys. Kind of feels a little bit good to not have to like stare at my phone constantly while I'm doing stuff. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we could push down. Hopefully we could push up. I'm sorry. And if we do push down, you guys have those next key levels to look at, not only on Bitcoin, but Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and all the other altcoins that we took a look at. There we go. Let's go. Shout out to Golden, baby. Gifted those 50 Frankie Candles memberships. I think the jackpot's playing. Let's go. Shout out to Golden. Let's go. Start that Golden waterfall just in time for the end of the stream. We appreciate you so much, Golden. And drop those golden emojis if you just got access to a Frankie Candles membership. This is our boy Golden, our biggest and most selfless, not selfish, selfless, generous people that we know. Shout out to Golden. Let's go. Start that golden waterfall. Drop that golden emoji to show Golden some love. And caught it right in the nick of time. Let's see. Shout out to Nirmal. Says, you might have to do it different color. Why doesn't yours have it Money flow, shout out to Normal. I'm not 100% sure what that was. That looked like an important question. I wanted to make sure you guys weren't confusing money flow or anything. But yeah, let's go. Shout out to Golden, bro. Drop those golden emojis on your way out, guys. But with all that being said, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I appreciate every single one of you guys for hanging out with us till the end of the stream. I assume we're at 420 likes. Let's see if we can run it up to 550 before the music stops and the memberships are still coming in. Let's go. Shout out to Yuli. Shout out to Gritty. Yo, you got to do the gritty, bro. You got to do the gritty. You just got a membership, man. But yeah, shout out to Eugene. Says 200 more likes and we get showered again. Yo, let's go. Smash that like button on your way out, guys. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And yeah, if anything crazy happens, I'll drop a market update tomorrow during the day. But if not, I'll see you guys here, same place, same time tomorrow, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. I love you all. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
What's next for me, Joe? I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f is it? They should have had them two bells ready. Space shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, though they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
By the way, guys, took me all weekend, but I got Mrs. Candles back inflated here. So hopefully she helps hold the price of Bitcoin up, guys. My lungs were feeling the pain, so hopefully that all that hard work doesn't go to nothing. But yeah, shout out to Mrs. Candles. Pump the market for us, Mrs. Candles. And she's sitting on my lap, guys. Why is this so warm? Are you peeing on my lap? I gotta go, guys. I think Mrs. Candles just had an accident. Hasta pasta. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out,